Hi guys, Colleen from Walking the Resonant Path here. I just want to do a book review of a book I've finished reading, The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. So I'll do what I always do, I'll read you the blurb and tell you what I thought of it. You break my heart, Reese Penhallow, and we curse you, you and your whole stupid hot line. Vivian Jones handled the biggest breakup of her life the way that any witch would. Vodka, bubble baths, and a curse on her ex. That was 9 years ago. Now Reese Penhallow, descendant of the town's founder, breaker of hearts until irritatingly gorgeous, is back. Reese has returned to the quaint town of Graves Glen to recharge the ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall festival. But when his every move results in calamity, Vivi realizes that hexing her ex might not have been so harmless after all. As the curse starts to affect the magic of the town, resulting in murderous wind-up toys and outraged ghosts and a surprisingly talkative cat, Vivi and Reese must put their personal feelings aside and work together to break the curse and save not just the town but also Reese's life. Now, what I liked about this book was I liked the relationship between Vivi and her cousin Gwyn, and that gave me like practical magic vibes. And at first, with the vodka and the cursing and the fun bits, I thought that was what it was going to be, and I was going to really love it. I didn't, sadly, only because I wanted more of the cursing and the practical magic vibe, but all I got was sex, 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 which I don't mind sex in a book. That's fine if it moves the plot forward or if it informs you about the people. So have 1 or 2 chapters of full-on, intimately described detailed sex if you need to. And, that's fine. But, the whole book was basically Reese and Reese and Vivi was the main witch girl, having sex all over the place and being described in intimate detail. If I wanted to read erotica, I would have picked a book of erotica. Now, I'm not a person who likes to read erotica. It doesn't bother me to read it, but it's not a genre I generally go for. That's why I pick, things with a story and a theme and stuff. And this had a very sparse story about the curse. But it was mainly about her and Reese having sex. And the thing was, I didn't even like Reese. He seemed like an arrogant prat to me all the way through. And what he'd done wrong to Vivian, what made her curse him, was that he comes from a very, fancy family, and his father had betrothed him to someone else, and Reese knew this. And he didn't tell Vivi, and then he told Vivi, and that's why they broke up 9 years ago. And then this is 9 years later, and he doesn't have to, apologize for it, even though he half-heartedly does, but he doesn't have to explain himself. Vivi pretends to hate him, then all of a sudden, she can't resist him. They get back together and have lots of sex, and that's basically the whole book. And it got kind of boring, really boring. The last 3 or 4 chapters was really good because that's when they really got into the curse and what was happening. If the rest of the book was like that, it would have been fantastic. But it also got annoying because after every sentence just about, no matter what they were doing, even if they were doing something about the curse, they would go, oh, the way he pointed his finger when he was going to cast that spell was so sexy, it made my loins quiver, and all this stuff. And I was going, oh, can we just get on with the story, please? Now, I'm not saying there was anything inherently wrong with the writing. It was well written, as in, she knows how to write a story, Erin Sterling, but I just really found it quite boring, and I wanted more of the practical magic vibe. I wanted more of the witch stuff. I wanted more of the curse stuff. I wanted not every sentence to have something was quivering or something made my heart flutter, which is fine every now and again. And if you put a couple of, as I said, 1 or 2 intimate sex chapters, that's fine. But not the whole book and not constantly throughout the book, so that you get a tiny thread of a story and the rest is just all that. As I said, you may be a person that loves that, so you may love this book. And as I say, when I do these, like Elizabeth Gilbert said once, if I write a book and you don't like it, then obviously you weren't the audience I was writing for. And that's all I mean when I say things like this, is that this book just wasn't for me. I didn't love it, and I wanted to love it. I wanted to love the witchy stuff. I wanted to love the curse stuff. I wanted to love the little witchy shop and all that, and I did love all that stuff, but there was hardly any of it in here. More of it was about Reese Penhallow and his, sex mansion. And I was really bored by that, to be honest. And, well, that's really all I have to say about The Ex-Hex, but that doesn't mean it's not for you. If you're a person who likes all that stuff, then you will love this book, but I just wasn't for me. So I'm going to give it 2 cauldrons, and I really feel awful giving it 2 cauldrons, but I just found it quite boring and just not really have a good story. Well, that was besides The Curse. The Curse was a good story, just the story was taken up with just a lot of sex. So anyway, that's The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I gave it 2 stars, maybe 2.5, half for the kitty cat. And I hope you have a glorious day and do whatever resonates within your soul. Bye now.